I discovered a top secret Edward Richtofen teaser Easter egg for Black Ops 6 Zombies, revealing a massive piece of information for Black Ops 6 Zombies that none of you would ever be able to see, as Treyarch and Activision have hidden it in plain sight. And I'm going to explain absolutely everything because Richtofen is going to play the biggest role in Black Ops 6 Zombies, and I don't think we're ready for it. I'm going to dive straight into it, but you won't find videos like this anywhere else. So to make sure you don't miss another banger discovery like this, consider hitting that subscribe button below, because 72% of you watching are not subscribed, and I'd hate for you to miss discoveries like this. But we know going into Black Ops 6 Zombies that Richtofen, now known as Eddie or the director, is going to play a huge role in the storyline. The story was left on a massive cliffhanger where he revealed that he was the head of Requiem and all of the events of Cold War, and arrested every Requiem member on Terminus Island. And that's where Black Ops 6 Zombies is going to pick up 5 years later, where we play as the crew that are breaking out of the prison. And one of the most important phrases in Cold War Zombies and going into Black Ops 6 Zombies that you'll be seeing repeatedly is the mentions of the words Project Janus. This is the name of Richtofen's top secret project that he's been working on in the background for decades. And everything that happened throughout Cold War Zombies has led to this project, where we see in the end cutscene the screen for the group memo of Requiem saying that the entity is acquired, all breaches sealed, Max is locked within the Dark Ether, she is no longer a problem for Project Janus. Now, up until now, we still don't know exactly what this Project Janus is, but if we look at the word Janus, it's a mythological Greek god who's known as the god of beginnings, the god of gateways and doorways. Tying those connotations into what we assume Project Janus could be, this is of course tied entirely to the Dark Ether, with Richtofen wanting to harness the power of capturing Dark Ether powers, being able to cross between our reality and the Dark Ether at will, but for a purpose we don't quite understand yet, but we know that this is of significant importance. And Activision and Treyarch want us to know that, because when the box art for Call of Duty Black Ops 6 was revealed, if you zoom in very closely next to the word Black Ops, you can see that there is a few etched writings where we can see the mentions of codename Sally, but then right next to it is the abbreviated words of Project Janus. This alone states how important Richtofen and this Project Janus is to the entire story of the game itself, for it to be on the main box art etched as a slight Easter egg. And I don't think you realize how important this is going to be for the fact that it's there on the main box. But it gets even crazier, as this Easter egg I've discovered is Activision and Treyarch literally putting it in front of our faces, and we the public won't be able to physically see this until October 25th when the game launches. So you're probably wondering, what on earth am I talking about? Well, very recently I made a short form video going over the Black Ops 6 Steelbook edition, which, if you aren't aware, is a pre-order physical edition steelbook that you can get from very specific game stores across the world. When researching on this steelbook, I came across a video on the GameStop website that actually showed a 3D CGI video of the steelbook in its full physical entirety across all of its sides. But the most interesting is that we could actually see inside the steelbook. And this is the moment where alarm bells started ringing as soon as the steelbooks opened, because you can see on the left we have the In God We Trust and the Cerberus dog heads, but on the right, where the disc will be for Black Ops 6, we can see a circular logo that is brand new, never seen before, and the words Project Janus underneath. This time it's not abbreviated, it is the full text of Project Janus, and it's so important that Activision and Treyarch want every person who buys a steelbook to see that when they take the disc out of the case. This is no longer just a small portion of the potential story for Black Ops 6. This is such an important beat, and Richtofen is going to be such an important character that Treyarch and Activision have put his secret project as the housing for the game's disc. That goes to show how important Richtofen is going to be in Black Ops 6 Zombies, and how this is not going to be a small part of the story. This is going to be a massive massive part, which in my eyes confirms that Richtofen's involvement in Black Ops 6 is not going to be just a fleeting guest appearance, but deeply involved in Black Ops 6 Zombies throughout every part of the story. And also, it's so important that it has its own logo, which has its own ramifications, where no longer are we talking about Project Janus as a secret project that only he is working on in the background, but this could be such a huge undertaking that this could now be an organization that's working with Richtofen, an organization entirely separate to Requiem and Omega Group, and an organization that could literally be working alongside the CIA in being this super top secret high class government classified organization, which could be reminiscent of the old Ether days to groups like Group 935, for example. Because this was such a huge discovery, I went ahead and recreated this Project Janus logo into the clearest digital form possible. And whilst it will not be 100% accurate to what's in the game box, it is pretty much as close as we're going to get. And it's such an interesting logo because this again has been custom made for the Steelbook, and this will be featured within Black Ops 6 Zombies itself. It's not just a throwaway design. This is going to be something that we're going to be seeing throughout Black Ops 6 Zombies. So this is something that we need to get used to seeing. And this is crazy because if GameStop didn't put this video of the Steelbook out, we would have never known this, and we would never have seen this until potentially the game's release. Now, the logo isn't going to reveal much about Project Janus, but since we know so little, we need to use this logo to give us a little bit of idea and context. And we can see in the middle that we have what's called an isotoxal star, which is a 4-point star. And traditionally, this is meant to be a symbol of truth, hope, and spirit. The star embodying the idea of spiritual revelation in each of us. And of course, we have the words Project Janus there in clear yellow text, which is interesting. And then we have several circles above it, which I don't know if it's just me, but it's really looking like it's making a teleporter pad icon. I could be completely wrong, but I can't be the only one that looks at that and doesn't see a teleporter pad. And if this does involve the Dark Ether and going to and from it, then you could assume that he would use a teleporter, or this group would use a teleporter. What if that's what this group is doing, or at least from the surface level layer, that's what the goals of Project Janus is, but of course deep under the surface, Richtofen has a nefarious agenda instead involving this technology. And if we reminisce on what's happened so far with Cold War Zombies, history repeats itself, where we saw Samantha Maxis regain those dark ethereal powers that she had in the previous storyline. What if Richtofen also wants to gain control of that ether realm and use it for his own will in this storyline, just like he tried to do in the original Ether story? When you really think about it, Requiem shouldn't exist anymore because it was completely dissolved and all the members were sent to solitary confinement. So Requiem doesn't exist anymore, so the crew that we're playing as would not be part of a group like Requiem and Omega Group, but their own individual group looking for revenge. And one of the new main groups that we see in the storyline that control everything really could be a group called Project Janus. Overall though, this is extremely exciting, as we know going into Black Ops 6 Zombies with the Terminus map, and more importantly Liberty Falls, which is actually the location of a secret test site that Richtofen has been building for the last 5 years, again to help with this secret Project Janus that we still aren't quite sure about. But I want to know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think Project Janus is, and what part will it play in Black Ops 6 Zombies, especially if it's so important that it's in the game's Steelbook? Love to hear your thoughts and theories down below. But if you enjoyed this video, go ahead, drop it a thumbs up. If you want to watch another Zombies video, it's on your screen right now. You can click it. I'll be with you in just a second.